Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Love and Astrology Night. So, tonight I'm going to be looking at the week of August 10th through August 16th. I'm going to talk to you about the biggest cosmic influences that you may experience, and I'm going to read for the collective. I will offer some free and paid mini readings at the end. Guys, please remember we are multi streaming, so we're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch tonight. So welcome in, everyone. I'm just going to pop over and make sure our Twitch is working. I got a little notification, but it looks like we're doing okay over there. All right, so before I get started with the astrology of August 10th through the 16th, I do want to talk to you about the collective energies. Well, I guess first I need to start with, I hope everybody had a good weekend. I had a great weekend. I got to spend my weekend with my boys, and I actually yesterday had all three boys under the same roof and all three grandbabies under the same roof all at the same time. So that was super exciting for me. It's really rare. All my kids definitely live in different areas of the United States, right? So to get everybody in the same state and in the same house and under the same roof is definitely something special. So that's what I got to experience the last couple of days. My oldest will be here until tomorrow, and I'm so grateful that I got to spend his birthday with him. So yesterday was Carson's birthday. That was my grandson. It's his first birthday. My youngest had his first child. And so we celebrated his birthday, and everyone came for his birthday party. That's why everybody was here. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Vanessa. I see everybody coming in. Welcome, welcome. And today is actually my oldest son's birthday. Thank you, Sandra. Today is my oldest 28-year-old birthday. He's making me feel old, right? But yes, I really just enjoyed the last few days with my family. A lot of healing energy, I think, has been really potent, really strong in our family. That's definitely going to be all that Cancer energy that's going on. And we're going to talk a little bit about that Cancer energy that's happening, right? Especially Venus going into Venus and Jupiter conjunct in Cancer. That's really exciting cosmic influence. But we'll get to all of that in a moment. So yeah, I just want to kind of just check in collectively and see how everybody was feeling. Something that I found really odd through all this like family time and reconnection time was I noticed people kept mentioning back pain. I noticed people like everywhere I went, like my oldest son actually had an issue with some back pain. I noticed like a couple of friends of ours that came to the party, mentioned some back pain. And I thought that was really interesting. My back's also been hurting. And I guess I just kind of chalked it up to like I need a new mattress or something. And then I came across an article this morning that was talking about the Schumann. It was talking about the Schumann and how erratic it's been, how extreme energies have been coming down. And I wonder, I just, in the article, it talks about how it impacts our body and can cause physical symptoms. And one of those was back pain. So I'm just wondering, like, is that what everybody's feeling collectively? Like sore joints, achy muscles, and back pain. I just thought that was really, really interesting. Edson wants to know, can you ask a question? Guys, I am going to offer readings at the end. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the astrology of August 10th through the 16th. And then I'm going to read for the collective. And then, of course, I'll offer some free and paid mini readings at the end. All right, so let's get to the astrology. So again, I'm looking at the week ahead, guys. We always try to stay a week ahead. So again, August 10th through the 16th. I called this live and this entire energy for this week, divine timing and sacred union. And I'm actually going to break that energy down and tell you why I believe that that's what's going to happen this week, right? And that's really important, especially for those of us on this very specific type of spiritual awakening journey, right? Jenna confirms with, yes, my backbones crunch when I bend and crunch when I straighten up. Yes, I feel like definitely everybody's back has been, I don't know, like achy, sore, and I'm just wondering, like, is it the shoe, right? All right, so there's actually two cosmic influences that are going to happen the week of the 10th through the 16th, guys. We're going to have some Mercury energy, Venus, and Jupiter, but let's break it down one by one. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is on August 11th, we have Mercury going direct in the sign of Leo. So what does that mean? I know the astrology, sometimes we use these big words and it just sounds so, I don't know, out there and hard to understand. So I've really been trying, me and my, my personal secretary, my robot secretary, I've been trying to like break this energy down into just more understandable terms, like things, words that me and you would say, right? Especially in this specific type of awakening journey. So for weeks now, we've been dealing with delays, with things like our voice, our ideas. And I feel like this is the conclusion of that August 11th when Mercury moves direct. We're going to really just wrap those delays up. Anything that you feel like you've been having to wait for, anything you feel like you haven't been able to speak up about, new ideas if you've been feeling stuck and needing to come up with some new ideas. I know I've been feeling that way with my shorts. Now I did take some time off because, all my boys were here and my family was here, and it was just really important for me to be present, right? But I've noticed that like I'm struggling, which normally shorts are super easy. They take me like 3 seconds, 30 seconds to make, you know what I mean? And they're super fast. And a lot of times I use templates, I just find I see something that I think that pulls at my heartstring, like I feel it, and it could definitely be collective, and I like to use them for shorts. But here lately, they've just seemed very generic, and just, I don't know, like I feel like it's not really touching the depth of what we're feeling. So I feel like it's very possible that when August 11th, Mercury direct in Leo, remember Leo is very passionate, so it's like those ideas may burst open once again, right? I think plans will finally get a green light if you've been waiting for anything. And I think a lot of us are going to feel like it's time to speak up about something, take action, and share our creativity. I feel like the collective vibe with Mercury direct in Leo on August 11th is going to be a confidence boost. And I know a lot of us have been needing that for sure. People are going to feel a lot bolder and more inspired. So that's what Mercury direct in Leo on August 11th will feel like. All right, so now let's talk about that big one. So I feel like, again, Mercury direct is probably the one that collectively we're going to feel the most clearly. We're going to see like new ideas burst open. You're going to be like, oh, Rosa said that I was going to have a new idea. Reconnections, new communication, things you've been feeling delayed on coming back around. You're going to be like, oh, Rosa said that, Mercury direct in Leo, right? But the one that is probably going to do the most impact, or like that you'll experience the most change with, is going to be Venus and Jupiter meeting in the sign of Cancer. It actually happens the next day. So on August 12th is when this energy becomes conjunct. And what does that mean, Venus and Jupiter conjunction in Cancer? Well, what it means is a huge wave of heart-centered abundance arriving. So you'll be focusing on things like love, family, self-care, and gratitude. And like I said, I just got done experiencing that energy this weekend with having all my boys and grandkids under the same roof, right? Money opportunities are going to be huge with Venus and Jupiter conjunction in Cancer. You're going to hear a lot of astrologers really kind of fine tune or like pinpoint the abundance in a more money and wealth type of way, because that is Venus. That's what Venus is all about. And remember, Jupiter is all about expansion and good luck and good fortune. So this definitely could be a transit that impacts our finances for sure. So look out for some money opportunities with this energy. Also, emotional healing could flow in. I feel like this really happened with me and my oldest son this weekend. So I'm just so very, very grateful for that, right? All right, so how can you work with this synergy? I'm actually going to give you a little bit more information here. All right, so for divine, remember, we're working with a very specific type of spiritual awakening journey, where we're learning to balance our divine feminine and our divine masculine energies. Sina, welcome. So we're learning to balance those energies within, right? Because remember, everyone has a masculine energy, everyone has a feminine energy. Our masculine energy is our protect and provide energy. Our feminine energy is our self-care, and self, nurturing type of energy. I always say the masculine energy is what makes us lock our doors at night, and the feminine energy is what makes us wash our hair when we're in the shower, right? So everybody has these energies within. And if you're having spiritual awakening, especially this type of spiritual awakening, then your goal is to balance those energies, right? So I like to use that when we're trying to discuss the astrology so that you understand what actions to take, right? So here's how to work with this energy this week, August 10th through the 16th. Use Mercury's clarity. So for the divine masculine, your action energy, speak your truth kindly. No more hiding, right? We're really starting to say what it is that we need to say. Start a passion project or even fix a communication issue would be a perfect time for this, right? Avoid pushing too hard or steamrolling over other people's feelings. All right, for your divine feminine energy, so this is more your feelings. Use Venus and Jupiter for magic. Use this energy to nurture yourself and others around you. Say no in a guilt-free way, as this is also going to help you with that as well. Attract love, abundance, again, by believing that you're worthy. And again, this could be financial abundance with this energy. You want to avoid over giving at this time or ignoring your own needs to please others. There is a big opportunity here to balance bold action, which is the masculine, with loving receptivity, which is the feminine energy. An example could be like ask for what you want, which is the action, while staying open to receive, which is the feeling, right? All right, here's what to watch out for this week with this energy. Ego clashes could be on, stay alert for ego clashes, especially when Mercury moves direct. If tempers flare, pause before reacting. Emotional overkill, watch out for that as well, because that's Venus and Jupiter conjunct. So don't overspend, don't overeat, or don't ignore red flags just to keep the peace, right? Be cautious of that energy as well. All right, here's some simple steps that you can take to thrive with this energy, August 10th through the 16th. Specifically on August 11th, you can use the Mercury energy by lighting a yellow candle, and you can write down one thing that you've been scared to say and then share it with whoever you need to share it this week. On August 12th, that Venus and Jupiter energy, you can do something nurturing like cook a meal or call a family member. You can write three things that you're grateful for, right? You can also place a rose quartz. I actually have some here on the table for, you can place them close to like your bed or where you sleep to attract love and abundance. All right, guys, that is what I have for you for the astrology for August 10th through the 16th. I'm going to do a quick collective. We're going to look at the divine masculine, the divine feminine energy. I'll look at the bridging energy, which is the current spiritual lesson. I hear that we're going to clarify. We may be taking a little bit deeper dive than normal for for Tuesday night. We may also look at head, heart, and higher self, so we can look at thoughts, feelings, and the higher self lesson for the masculine and feminine energies as well. And I guess since we're going to do all that, I'll go ahead and pull some messages from each side and a guidance card. So guys, if you're looking for some free readings tonight, hang out, be patient. Let me know in the chat if the collective reading pulls at your heartstrings. Vanessa says, I have a rose quartz sphere on a light base next to my bed. I love that. A rose quartz sphere. I bet that's nice. I can't remember what that one is called. That Sandra has to tell me every time. All right, let's look at masculine energy. We have King of Coins, and that definitely is very strong masculine energy. We see Ace of Wands on the bottom for the masculine. So first, I'm getting strong masculine energy because King of Coins or King of Pentacles, protector, provider, the giver, the person that gives you the things that you need. I feel like divine masculine could be trying to become the person that gives the divine feminine the things that she needs. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting there. It is a mature energy, so it's like the divine masculine could be going through some type of leveling up, maturing in some shape, way, form. It could have something to do with finances as well, especially with that Venus and Jupiter conjunction. Sherry, welcome. All right, let's look at the feminine energy. So we have Six of Wands coming out for the feminine. Six of Wands is going to be some type of victory. It's a very, actually, I shouldn't say some type of victory because it's actually a really specific type of victory. And I'll talk about it in just a second. Justice is on the bottom. So for the feminine energy, it's like there's been some type of great injustice that's been done, and the scales are being balanced this week, August 10th through the 16th. And the injustice that could have been done for the divine feminine could have something to do with like holding the feminine down, hiding the feminine energy. It's almost, I'm getting this energy of like being pushed down or being pushed back. The Six of Wands is, again, it is triumph, it is a victory, it's all of those good things. But the most important thing, and the word is actually on the card here, it's recognition. It's recognition. So if you look at the Six of Wands in regular tarot, remember I'm using the Enchanted Soul Tarot tonight, but in regular tarot, the Six of Wands shows this man riding into town on his horse. And the idea is that he's accomplished some great victory, and he's coming into the town, and all his people and friends and family are coming out to cheer him on. It's like they're proud of the accomplishments that he's had. It's about also like being put in the spotlight in some way, and that's kind of what I'm picking up for divine feminine. It's very possible that the feminine energy is put in the spotlight in some type of victorious way. Again, the justice card on the bottom tells me it's to balance those scales, to make something right again. All right, let's look at the bridging energy. This is really the most important card we can pull here. Spirit pulls this for us. So we see Page of Wands on the bottom, and we have Queen of Cups. I'm sorry, we see Page of Wands for your bridging energy, and we have Queen of Cups on the bottom. All right, so with Queen of Cups on the bottom, it tells me that the overall reading for, or energy for the reading, is going to be unconditional love, self-care, nurturing. It's very, again, giving a lot of this Cancer energy, compassion, love, family, reunion, that type of stuff. Page of Wands as your bridging energy is, well, Page of Wands is spiritual awakening. It's enlightenment. It's the very beginning of your journey. Pages are students. They're never, ever at their fullest potential, right? So it's like they're always trying to learn more. So there's something very exciting about your spiritual awakening journey, that you could be wanting to learn more, take a new route. I almost said take a new course, so that could just be for some of you out there. But yeah, it's like you're learning something new about your journey, and it's getting you excited again about it. So that's kind of interesting. All right, I actually pulled out Ace of Swords on the bottom. Ace of Swords, new communication. I pulled out the Crystal Unicorn Tarot. And we're going to use these tonight to clarify. I'm going to start with the King of Coins. I like it when Spirit just hands me the cards. All right, so we have Nine of Pentacles. So again, about finances. Eight of Cups, walking away from something. Seven of Wands. So Seven of Wands is, it is about healthy boundaries and having and respecting people's boundaries, but it can also be about being too closed off. I think the masculine has been struggling with their finances, their money. I think there's this energy of surrendering, walking away from something. Maybe they felt like they needed some time on their own to do something as well. But Seven of Wands tells me that they're becoming more open or receptive to something. And again, it's going to be the pentacles. It's going to be the finances, the money. I feel like I've been saying this for weeks now. So it feels like when collectively divine masculine I feel like for the longest time it's been divine feminine having this awakening, and then all of a sudden it was like bam, divine masculine has to wake up, and has to wake up very quickly. And I feel like the again feminine always had this extra time, masculine energy not so much. It's almost like this catch up, you know, having to do to catch up to the feminine. I feel like in the last, I don't know, year and a half, 18 months or so, it's like the divine masculine has had this mass collective awakening all around the world, kind of catching up with divine feminine. And I want to say that the first thing I feel divine masculine did in their spiritual awakening was begin to manifest. And they began to manifest all kinds of things: money, material things, cars, homes, people, relationships. They began manifesting wins, championships, all kinds of things, right? And I think that there definitely was this derailment, this, you know, this not necessarily a surrendering for divine masculine, but more of this like power hungry type of energy. And what happened was the spirit kind of just took it away, right? So all of a sudden, divine masculine couldn't manifest as well as they were. All of a sudden, they started to see all of those things that they had seen come to fruition kind of start to fall away or break away, become less and less, right? And I do feel that all of that was happening as the divine feminine was rising. It was like the more the divine feminine stepped away from the divine masculine and stopped putting all her focus and energy on the divine masculine, it was like all of that breakdown started to happen, and the divine feminine started to heal, started to ascend, and started to create on her own, right? That's why we see this victory over here. And I feel like what's happening with divine masculine is they went through this stage of anger, frustration, and it's like now there's some type of surrendering here where it's like they realize they can't do it without the divine feminine, right? All right, so let's look over at the divine feminine energy. Huge victory with the Six of Wands. It's quiet tonight. I don't see anybody over on Twitch. I seen Sandra. I haven't seen Diana. See Vanessa helping over on Facebook. Thank you, Vanessa. All right, let's look at the victory for the divine feminine. We have Page of Swords. Someone's watching, but they're fearful of communicating. We see Queen of Cups. I mean, it could be divine feminine energy, self-care, nurturing, time to fill your cup type of energy. And we have Four of Wands. Four of Wands is creation, firm foundation, financial security, all of that stuff. I feel like the divine feminine, it's just kind of what I said earlier. Divine feminine could have even stopped talking to divine masculine. Like there could have been some type of, you know, no contact, blocking something. It was like almost like the divine feminine had to put all of her energy back into herself so that she can replenish herself and that she can begin to create. That could have been the lesson that divine feminine just went through and could have brought this huge victory. Very possible. All right, let's look at the Page of Wands. So Page of Wands is the current spiritual lesson. And I'm getting that. So the words on here are exuberant, outgoing, excited, creative, artistic, free spirit. So what I'm getting here is that it's time to get excited about your spiritual awakening journey again. It's like something new, some type of leveling up period, something like that. Eight of Swords is here. Eight of Swords is like breaking free from some type of restriction. The star is here. This is Aquarius energy. Again, bright hope for the future. And then the Fool. So big confirmation, taking a leap of faith. So especially with the star and the Fool coming out side by side, back to back like that, it's definitely this energy of surrendering. Like, and then remember, this is bridging energy, so it means both sides. So it's like both sides have decided to go back to their beginning, right? Back to the beginning of their spiritual awakening, back to the roots. And I don't mean like back to each other. It's not necessarily about back to each other. It's more about understanding that there's an independence with the masculine energy and the feminine energy, but we work best in union, right? We work best together. That's kind of what I'm getting here. Three of Swords on the bottom to bring confirmation. There's definitely some type of massive healing happening. All right, so I didn't plan on going this far into it, but Spirit says we need to get a little bit more. So let's use the Yin Yang Oracle. And let's look at the head, heart, and higher space of the divine masculine. So what is the masculine thinking, feeling, and what is going on? And what is the higher self lesson for the masculine? So this is a multitasking. I understand. No worries, no worries. All right, let's look at the head space. We have receive and open. So that kind of give confirmation. There's this maturing energy with the divine masculine, more open to receive from the divine feminine, not so closed off, not so angry and frustrated. We have Mercury messages, travel and communication in the heart space. So I do feel like there is more communication. We've seen that Ace of Swords before we started the reading. Remember that? And I said something about new communication coming in. Message in the bottle is kind of the message that I'm getting. So it's like the communication that could be coming in is something that's been very delayed, something that should have been said a long time ago, that type of feeling. All right, we have guilt and sabotage coming out for higher self for the divine masculine. So it's like divine masculine currently could be learning about releasing any guilt, especially on this journey, right? Everything happens for a reason. And definitely could be being shown where they self-sabotage. I want to point out that the heart chakra, the heart space, is where communication happens with twin flames. So it's very possible this is communication, especially with the word communication on the card. All right, let's look at the divine feminine next. So what's the divine feminine thinking in the headspace? We have remember and awakening. So big confirmation of what I said earlier, like going back to the beginning of your awakening journey. We have reflection and projection, the mirror energy coming out in the heart space. So there could be some type of mirroring energy. That just tells me that both the masculine and the feminine want to communicate with one another. They may even want to travel to see one another, especially with Mercury going direct in Leo on August 11th. The reflection coming out, projections, that could be something that's healing between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Divine feminine could be showing divine masculine something about reflections and projections. Memories and nostalgia is coming out. This is, I heard rose colored glasses. So again, I do sense some type of reunion energy, and I'm not too surprised to see that, especially with, you know, the sacred union, divine timing energy that we're experiencing in the cosmos this week. But I do want to point out that I feel like the higher self lesson for the divine feminine is the nostalgia energy. I heard it right away when I turned the card over. We no longer wear the rose colored glasses, right? We are authentic. We speak our truth. And authentic wasn't the word that I was, accountable. We're accountable, right? We're accountable for ourselves, and we hold others to their accountability as well, right? So we're no longer in this nostalgia love bubble when it comes from divine feminine to divine masculine, right? Like we see right through them, we see things clearly, and we call shit out for what it is. That's the higher self lesson for divine feminine. So I just really want to point that out. Ego card is on the bottom. All right, so I said we would pull some messages. We got Sandra, a member for PLR for 24 months. I love that. $8 for a mini reading. Thank you, Sandra. Erica comes in. Guys, I'm going to offer these free and paid mini readings as soon as this collective is over. Sandra is first on our list, right? Because the energy exchange readings do jump the free line. So if you're looking for a free reading, hang out, be patient. And guys, if you want an energy exchange reading, I am offering a special $8 mini reading with 8+ cards. And that is in celebration of our Lionsgate portal. It's actually this week, guys, just a couple of days away. People say that portal stays open until about the 12th. I do believe that. I do believe that the energies are open a little bit before and stay open a little bit after. It's a strong manifestation portal for sure. Uh-oh, the kids are home, guys. I'm going to have to shut the door. But I'm going to talk more about that Lionsgate portal when we do the members only reading tomorrow night. All right, let me shut the door real quick, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry, guys. Everybody came home at the same time. All right, let's look at the masculine to the feminine first. So 3 cards came out. First one says, don't turn the situation into something that cannot be fixed. Think carefully about how you want to respond. And that could be the communication, right? Communication coming in, like don't turn it into a bigger thing than it has to be. I'm tired of being hurt from this relationship comes out from the divine masculine to the divine feminine. Letting go for now will allow time for me to learn about self-love. I feel like that's kind of confirmation. I feel like I felt that energy, like there had been some type of no contact, some type of break. I do feel that this August 11th energy is about reconnecting, coming back together. And this could be why there was this break or this no contact, or this period of no communication. It could definitely be because the masculine felt that they were, being hurt in this particular connection, right? I also see, I feel I don't have enough to give you also came out. I didn't even see it when I was first turning them over. All right, let's do the feminine energies, feminine to masculine. There were too many expectations. Is this twin flame journey just something in my head? I feel like that's strong for divine feminine. A lot of times we do question this journey, especially right before reunion periods. Walking on eggshells is not how I want to live each day. Create space together to evolve, expand, forgive, and communicate in healthy ways. And Spirit says one more. Ego death, which we've seen that ego death card right here on the bottom of the yin yang oracle, and it says complete loss of subjective self-identity. What you are at this moment is what you know from past experiences. And what I'm getting with that is, especially for the divine feminine, and this is higher self message, by the way, for the divine feminine. But for the divine feminine, you've been in these relationships where they turned out a certain way, right? We dealt with certain types of people. We've learned massive lessons. We've awakened. We've seen our worth. We've held ourselves accountable, and we've begun to hold others accountable as well, right? I do feel that there has been some type of shift in energy, especially when that Leo new moon came in at the end of June. And I feel like it's possible that some of us could be experiencing reconnection, especially with counterpart energy. Some of us could be just meeting new people altogether. Some of us could be sensing the essence of our divine masculine in a completely new person. Guys, that happens, right? And so all of this could be happening. And the divine feminine, I think where you're at right now is the stage where you're not moving into your next relationship. And whether, again, this is with someone from your past, twin flame, or someone completely new, you're not moving into the next relationship with any ties, any karmic ties of the past. In other words, you've healed whatever it is that was broken in you before, and could be coming into this next energy, this next cycle of energy in a much more, just like the masculine, a much more receptive way. You're no longer looking for people to repeat the things that you experienced in your past, right? I feel like that's definitely the energy I'm feeling. Miss L, welcome. All right, guys, that's going to be not it. I almost forgot. It's like, what are you doing? Okay, guidance card. So Venus energy did make me pull out the divine feminine oracle. So let's pull guidance for the masculine and feminine energies. And then I'm going to jump over to Sandra's 8-card reading. Sandra, let me know if you have a question. All right, so we have Yamoja, the goddess of all that flows. I'm an ocean of creative energy. I give birth to what exists within me. I love that. Let's do one more. Shekinah, the presence of divine feminine. At the center of everything, there is light, and I am that light. And I hear one more. Catherine Labor, the patroness of miraculous healing. I'm ready to heal. I am worthy of the miracles meant for me. I love it. All right, now I'm going to leave it there, guys. Let me clean up really quickly, and we'll jump to Sandra's energy exchange reading. Guys, you can do energy exchange. You can ask a question. It's pretty open. You can, please no like health or pregnancy questions. You can just see what comes out. You can focus, like set intention for something. Last week we had a lot of Lionsgate intention because the Lionsgate portal. Okay. I'm going to stick with the Enchanted Soul Tarot. And Sandra has no questions. Let's do a what you need to know. The sun comes out. It's actually Leo energy. Strong Leo energy. Enlightenment, happiness, child, optimism, innocence. I'm getting a really direct message right away, and Spirit's giving me way too much for needing 8 cards, giving it to me with the very first card. All right, let me try to. Is counterpart energy Leo? Am I right about that? Counterpart energy is Leo. You're healing something with your own children. And as you heal something with your children, somehow, I'm not getting all the bits and pieces. But it's like, there's a word I can't. At the same time, it's healing your counterpart energy. It could be healing their inner child. It's helping them heal their inner child. So as you heal your, I don't know what this is, energy, joy, happiness, your own relationship with your own children, maybe being able to experience joy and happiness with your children, it is helping your counterpart energy at the same time heal their inner child. How cool is that, right? All right, let's see what else is out here. That's what you need to know. Two of coins, 10 coins, 4 of swords. So 2 of coins says juggling finances. I feel like Spirit's telling me what's happened. The 10 of coins is home, family, stability. 4 of swords is rest, exhaustion, retreat. I'm getting this energy like you were feeling stretched, depleted. I'm getting the short fuse, short temper type of energy. And I'm not saying necessarily that was you, but you could have felt that way, because like you were like, you could feel like you're having to, like, I don't know, rob Peter to pay Paul, right? So it's like this energy of not enough resources, feeling stretched, pulled in too many directions, like you're having to juggle your finances, like it says, right? And it's like what could have happened is you could have decided, and this could be like very recently, You could have said, you know what, I'm not going to stress about this, and I'm just going to go spend some time at home with my family. Maybe I'm going to, do something, I don't know, some type of situation with the family where you were maybe worried about finances, but you were like, I'm going to let this go. And it brought some type of great healing, and definitely like a blessing in disguise, like something that you thought was going to stretch you too thin, brought you some type of massive healing. That's you. I got a feeling we're fixing to get done. So that must be how you did the healing with the family or the children. So now I'm gonna see counterpart energy Leo with inner child. The Tower comes out right away. That's Mars energy. That could be Scorpio or Aries. Four of Wands, 11, firm foundation, financial security, and the Star, rightful for the future, cleansing, purification. The High Priestess, there's some type of knowing, inner knowing. Mail, some letter could have came. They could have received some information. It shows like an owl holding a scroll in his claws. This person could have read something from twin flame, from counterpart energy, that just kind of like you see the face, like the head splitting open. It's just kind of like it could have just given them like a wow moment. I actually had this happen to me just, I want to say it was today, maybe it was yesterday, where somebody said something to me, and it was something like it had something. I don't know how to say this without just saying. Okay, so someone said something to me, and they were like, the thing they said, they had said to me about 5 years previously. It was a completely different situation, but it was like the same thing was happening. And when they said it this time, I guess like the first time I heard them say it, I just didn't catch it. Like it went over my head. I didn't get it. And when they said it this time, it was like, oh, wow, aha, oh my gosh, I get it. You know what I'm trying to say? It was like one of those moments. And it took me way back to the 5 years ago when the whole situation happened in the first place. You know what I'm trying to say? So you could have sent this person something, wrote something, a letter, an email, a text, I don't know. But they could have not read it right away. Like that's kind of what I'm getting. There was some type of delay. So they could have not opened it, not read it right away. And then like when they did, it was like, bam, something just, it was like the divine timing. It was almost like the message wasn't received the first time, or it wasn't received when you originally sent it, because maybe you were trying to push, right? So, and you weren't trying to wait for divine timing. So it's like whatever happened, maybe they just didn't open it, they didn't see it, I don't know. But then like when the time is right, they open it, they see it, and it's like bam, all of a sudden they have this huge like aha moment. And I mean, Four of Wands is 11, and it is about twin flame, and it is about firm foundation, financial security, all of that stuff. Um, I think it's going to have something to do with the stars also here. So it's something about like for the divine, for this energy, this is about like an aha moment about the who. And the star is giving me, it is Aquarius energy, but it's giving me very renewal is the first word on here, hope is on here. It's giving me this like burst of excitement, but also this sense of um, I wouldn't say hesitation. I don't feel like this person is going to hesitate. Nervousness, like anxiousness, that type of energy. All right, let's pull some guidance cards. Let's stick with the feminine energy, the divine feminine oracle. Sandra says mind blown. We had a small contact yesterday. Sweet confirmation. I love it. All right. Saraswati, the goddess of self-knowledge, the essence of who I am, self-knowledge. Remember, we've seen the high priestess, the inner knowing. The essence of who I am flows effortlessly into everything I create. Hi, cutie. How are you? He's going to come read some tarot with me. Yeah, I'm totally in the middle of a live. I love you. Nana's almost done. It's okay. I'm glad I got to see my grandson busted in. He wanted to come read some tarot with Nana. All right, let's see. We also have the enlightened feminine. My gut instinct is wise beyond reason. I trust my intuition to guide me. You've been feeling their energy. They've been feeling your energy. You've been sending your energy in some way. And that energy is flowing directly to where, well, directly where you've been sending it. The poetess also comes out. I love every inch of my body, and I love the woman in my life fiercely. All right, I'm going to leave that there. I hope that was helpful. Thank you, Sandra, for your energy exchange. Sherry says, hi, baby. Did you guys hear him? He was so cute. Oh, my gosh. All right, so I know that was Sandra's energy exchange. So let me know, guys, if anyone else is one. I think I seen Sherry wanted a card pull. Let me know, guys. I'm gonna wrap it up. I know tonight was short and sweet. I'm really gonna try to keep all 12 signs short and sweet as well. There's a lot going on. So my boys are all here, of course, for Carson's birthday. But then my middle son is actually, I don't even know if I'm ready to quite announce that. We're just having a big celebration uh, for my middle son as well. And so yeah, it's just really busy, a lot going on. So I'm just going to try this week to keep them as short and sweet as possible. Oh, yes. Okay, Sherry, no problem. Absolutely, Vanessa. All right, guys, I'm sticking with the Enchanted Soul Tarot. Death card comes out, Sherry. The death card, of course, is death and rebirth. Nothing, um, with every ending, there's a new beginning. The words ending and beginning is here. Transition, it's transitional period, transformation. Give me just a moment. You're struggling. I'm just going to say it, okay? It's hard. I know. You're struggling with death currently. The clock could feel like it's ticking. Someone is, I almost said reverting, but that's not really the right word. The body is old, but the soul is innocent, young. It's not even about being young. It lives forever. It lives forever. I'm gonna leave that right there. All right, Vanessa. That was hard. That was hard, Cherry. Absolutely, Jenna. You guys hear him back there? I hear him. He's raising heck out there. I want my Nana. All right, the mentor card comes out. Guys, the mentor card is like the Hierophant card in the Enchanted Soul Tarot. So, Vanessa, this is about enlightenment, spiritual awakening. I feel like someone is blind faith is the first word on here. Guide is the second word. I feel like someone's coming to you, and I almost said this before I interrupted myself. I feel like someone could be coming to you and asking you for some type of spiritual guidance, Vanessa. This could have happened already, or it's something that's like getting ready to happen very, very soon. I feel like this person, it could have something to do with Taurus, it could have something to do with marriage, husband, something like that. But I think it's more about enlightenment. It's like they want to know something to help them get through some dark period in their life. And it's very possible that this person watched you go through some darker period in your life, and they saw you like pull yourself out of it. And they want to know how you did that. That's kind of the energy that I'm getting here. All right, I'm going to leave that right there. I hope that was helpful, Vanessa. It is a very rough transition. Erica, you got that? You have that right. Emotional and foggy. That is awesome. I feel like the foggy, that's going to be Neptune and Aries, guys. You're going to hear a lot of people tell you that the fogginess is going to lift when Mercury goes direct in Leo. And I mean, I guess it's possible that for some of you that is the case, that some of that will happen. But thank you, Vanessa. But I think that because Neptune is in Aries right now, a lot of us are dealing with that foggy brain, foggy head type of energy, feeling like we can't find clear direction when it comes to like our whole self, our whole being, who we are, right? Because that's Aries, the house of self. And that energy is going to be there for a minute. It's going to be there for a minute. But here's what I can tell you that is helpful. Saturn is conjunct Neptune, and Saturn is also in Aries, and they're in there together. And Saturn is the planet of discipline, and Saturn is the planet that's like ripping off the rose-colored glasses that Neptune tries to put on us, right? So Saturn will help us find clarity and get through the fog, but only as long as we are staying disciplined in our practices, in our awareness, in our spiritual journey and practices, right? Like the discipline, self-discipline is going to be important. And the self-discipline, like let's say I get up every single day and I have a routine, a spiritual routine, a health routine, a life routine, right? I tell everybody to go download my daily wellness journal over on my website. It's completely free, because if you check those little boxes off, it's going to give you a daily routine to keep you in alignment. And if I can stick to that daily routine, then I don't experience so much brain fog. I don't experience so much, oh my gosh, confusion. I don't know what's going on, right? But if I start slacking, and Saturn does not like a slacker, just doesn't, those two words don't go together, right? So if I start slacking, then yeah, Saturn is not going to help me with the brain fog. I'm going to start to feel confused, and I don't know what to do and where am I going, right? So I know Mercury's going direct in Leo. That's going to help us with our words, with our communication, speaking out, and speaking up, but not necessarily with the brain fog. The only thing that's going to help us with the brain fog, or feeling confused, or like we're not sure which way we're going, is going to be the daily self-discipline. That's just facts, guys. All right, who was I doing next? I done forgot, because I got excited about the Neptune and Aries. Who was next? Remind me, guys, really quickly. I think there was like 2 or 3 more I wanted to do. Jenna. Dina. Erica says, I've been feeling brutal awareness of everything. Yes, it's in our face and we can't run from it anymore. That's facts too. Yes, Dina. I'm going to do yours right after Jenna. And then if there's no one else, I think I'm going to wrap it up, guys. I'll be back on Thursday. Wrong. I'll be back tomorrow night. And all of you guys that won the PLR memberships, make sure to join me tomorrow night, because we're going to talk about Lionsgate. And I'm actually going to give you some physical steps, action that you can take to get into alignment with this Lionsgate portal, so you can manifest in a much easier way. Like literally everything that's happening to me this weekend, with the birthdays and my son and family and the healing, that was all manifested, guys, all of it. So I'm just saying, like, Lionsgate portal is a very prime time for this type of action, right? So I'm doing it on the 6th, which is tomorrow night, for all PLR members. And I'm going to give you some action, like practical steps, like real things you can go do to help you get into alignment and manifest a lot easier with this portal. Of course, we will be offering some Lionsgate readings tomorrow night as well. So everyone that is PLR member for my YouTube channel, make sure to join me over on YouTube only. YouTube only tomorrow night. All right, Jenna. The devil card comes out. Obsession, control, temptation is the word. Temptation. Jenna, you're trying to do something right now that's taking a lot of ambition. Like it's taking a lot for you to push forward. A lot of people would quit at, or would have quit already. Like they wouldn't have kept doing whatever this is about. And it's very possible that something is tempting you at this time, something from your past, something that's karmic. If it's a person, understand that it's very possible this person could be obsessed with you, and like what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're getting, what it is that you want. You may be tempted to, like, I don't know, allow this person back into your energy, something like this. But it's definitely giving like karmic ties. It's definitely giving like karmic lesson. I'm almost getting like you're getting some type of lesson and seeing like how quickly or easily can you spot the triggers, the red flags, and how easily can you walk away from that energy. All right, I'm going to leave that right there. Be cautious of the temptation, Jenna. Sandra says, I was feeling physically off, but much better now. I feel like that was all of us saying. All right, Dina. Exercise helps me a lot, and the sauna, absolutely. I can't give myself credit for the exercise. I am not, my self-discipline when it comes to my daily exercise practices is like, I definitely, that's going to be one of the first things I skip over. Sadly, I know I've been getting in trouble about it too. Even when it comes to like just the yoga and the stretching. So I'm not even talking about the Pilates. Like I've been skipping over the things, and I got a feeling that this coming up week, Spirit is about to give me a realignment. I like to call them forced realignments, right? All right, Dina, let's see what a spirit have to say. Ace of Coins comes out. You're about to get a new opportunity, a new financial beginning, a new job, opportunity, abundance, wealth, investment, windfall. I don't think it's a windfall. I think it's a new opportunity. I think it would have something to do with a job, and I think that it could have something to do with like saving money or being able to save money, because the word investment is sticking out to me. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I hope that was helpful, Dina. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for coming in here and hanging out with me. I appreciate you guys so very much. I did not see Twitch tonight. I need to go make sure. Sometimes I feel like I put Twitch on the back burner. I need to go catch up over there. But I'll be back Thursday night with all 12 signs. If you're a PLR member over on YouTube, don't forget to join me tomorrow night for Lionsgate. I'm going to talk to you about what Lionsgate is. I'm going to give you some information and steps to take to be able to manifest with this energy a lot easier. And I'm going to offer some Lionsgate readings. So make sure to join me tomorrow night for that. I love you guys. Thank you all my moderator ladies who came in to hang out with me. I appreciate you guys so very much. And I'm always, always sending you love.